Joining us now is Yodit Tewelda, a former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney. Also, Brian Claypool, a criminal defense attorney. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
So his question, "Are you ready to die?" to the children suggests premeditation, intent to kill. He's charged right now with vehicular homicide. Brian, could that be upgraded to murder?
Oh, Patty Ann, this should be upgraded to murder. This was not a bus accident. This was mass murder. These kids were murdered by a bus driver who says, "Oh, are you kids ready to die?" That's the first fact that supports premeditated murder. The second fact, Patty Ann, that supports a murder charge is his speed. He was going very, very fast, where the bus was actually cut in half when it hit the tree. The third fact that supports a premeditated murder charge is there was no other vehicle involved in the accident, which proves that he intended on killing these kids. So he should be charged with murder, and I'm offended by the fact that the Hamilton County prosecutor has a bail amount also of $107,000. What is he thinking? He's asleep at the wheel, no pun intended.
All right, more evidence has to be examined. The toxicology reports are not back yet. Yodit, we also have these statements from the surviving children. What else is there, and how damning is it?
Well, again, there's so much information we don't know at the moment. And if there is some merit to what these kids are saying, then I would agree with my friend Brian that this has to be an increased charge to murder. However, what we do know right now is that he is charged with vehicular homicide, and that is the reckless killing of another while operating a vehicle. So the prosecutors are going to have to prove that Walker's actions demonstrated a reckless disregard for the safety of these children. And as a result of that reckless behavior, there was death. So what we don't know right now is that there's a black box in this bus that has data about the movement of these of the bus. We also hear about there may be a potential witness, another bus driver behind Walker's that day that could testify to what Walker's driving patterns were. So there's a lot of information we don't know at the moment. But yes, speeding is a direct evidence of recklessness. We have speed limits for a reason,
right.
And if you go beyond the speed limit, then you're running the chances of not being able to react in time to potential dangers.
Right. In addition to criminal charges, Brian, I assume we're expecting civil suits from the families.
Well, Patty, and not only that, but I'd go one step further. If I was a prosecutor in Hamilton County, I'd be looking at filing criminal charges for child endangerment against the owner of Durham School Services. That company has a track record of allowing accidents to happen at the hands of inept and criminal bus drivers. Back in 2014, there was a study that came out. 250 bus accidents in Memphis, Tennessee alone, Patty Ann. Half of those were found to be at fault by the bus drivers. So you tell me that there are not red flags that existed within this transportation company to tell them, hey, we've got to vet our bus drivers, number one, and then number two,
right.
Once they're hired, we have to continue to monitor them. So they should face criminal charges too.
And in addition to better vetting of drivers, we're getting calls for that, Yodit, but also the deaths and injuries in this tragedy are renewing calls for seatbelts on school buses. How is it that they're required in other vehicles, but not the ones that take our kids to school?
You're absolutely right. I mean, when I was driving or riding a bus going to school, we got up from our seats and would go and get into other people's seats and walk around during the bus ride, and that's absolutely dangerous. And I don't know why it takes the death of 5 kids and countless others being injured, seriously injured, for us to have this conversation about proper bus safety. It should have been had a long time ago, and I think that we're honestly too late to be having this discussion.
It is obviously too late. This tragedy has already happened, but hopefully it will be a wake-up call going forward. Yodit and Brian, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
Thanksgiving.